Good evening. It's Thursday, August 2. Let's walk around. Here we are at our front two luster beds, and things are starting to sprout up. If you go back to the last video was on July 18, so you can see to the right of the nannyberry we have some taller plants. These are swamp milkweeds. To the left, there are some green things that could be weeds or could be Joe Pye weed that seeds have been spread around. So we'll see. You'll see over at the fence, the blue stem is starting to get a bit higher. It was just up to the level of the mid 2x4, and now it's halfway up to the top. So we'll see how that goes. But generally, when I look at that last video and I look here, things are starting to fill in. So we're doing well. If I look over here, the reason the hose is stretched across here, I need to move it back tonight, is I was cutting the grass at this part today. We do have some challenges in here. There are some creeping bellflowers, but I've decided I'm going to have to break down and use some Weed Be Gone right on the bellflower, leaves. And what I'm going to do is I've got a tin can that I've taken both ends out of. I'm going to put that around the plant, spray inside the tin can where the plant is, and then remove the tin can. And that way I'm hoping there'll be no drift. I'll do this also on a day when it's not windy either, but I want to certainly minimize any potential of chemical drift. And if we look over at the seal beds, shady and sunny, and oh yes, you can still see the blue vervains are coming to the end of their season. But over to the right, these are pearly everlastings, and we have one there and another one there. So when we start to see things like this, we're doing well. Of course, I have some creeping bellflowers in the middle here, and that's going to be a challenge. And I just, that was going to be my task next week. If I look in here, oops, going the wrong way. This is a good plant. This is a good plant. Oh my goodness, creeping bellflower. So we may try to dig some of it out, but this is going to get sprayed with chemicals. It's too bad. I hate using chemicals, but I think that's going to be the way we have to do things. Oh, and I see a third pearly everlasting over by the driveway. There we go. So, that's quite good. This has just been about a month. And look at the height. So over to the left of the pearly everlastings, blue vervain, it's doing well. So we're doing fine. And if I just, I'm going to back out all the way so I don't get this too blurry here. If we come around all the way, there's the west. This is good to remind me to have to move the hose tonight. And then there's our second nannyberry, which I did plant in the original spot that I was considering. And frankly, it does better than the first one I planted. The first one I planted on hot days, you can see it wilting. This one, nope. So that could be perhaps a little bit more shade. So there's our front yards. We're doing quite well in here. Let's go around the back. My mulch will disappear, but not yet. how the coleus is doing. Coleus, I guess, is the word, single word. Oh, he's coming along quite well. This of the three coleus, this is probably the most boring color. It's green. That's that. Now this one is really zooming along. This one is very happy in exactly the spot we've put it in. And its neighbor is doing quite well. And if we go to the end, next to the fence, next to the rhododendron, this one is doing fine. He's had some interventions in here, is that a squirrel keeps digging holes in this one. And indeed, one of the shoots, there were 4 shoots planted in here. One of them did indeed fail. We still have 3 good plants. Oh, speaking of things, here, what do we have here? Speaking of squirrels, and there he is. Yeah, this is my friend. Oh yes, we're doing this as a... Yes, why not? Well, this was not exactly what I wanted to do today. Anyhow, let's keep going. Let's go in the backyard and ignore what's his name. So here we are. Greetings and salutations. Let's go in the backyard. Our heritage tomatoes are coming along fine. They're flowering. So these the green plants between the lockstones are plantains, and I did weed whack them today. I'm going to let them grow back, and then early next week this will be Weed Be Gone, and we'll remove them that way. Here's 2 areas I've actually tested the Weed Be Gone on, and you can see it's certainly discolored. The plantains, what I read, it seems to take a couple of sprays at it to get it to remove it. So we'll see how we go. Here's some more heritage cherry tomatoes. I'm not sure these are going to bear fruit this year. Now here's something that I forgot about this. But within the last 2 weeks, I planted seeds. These are nasturtiums, and nasturtium, they're edible. Both the flowers and the leaves are edible. The taste, I'll say, is somewhat like horseradish. So if you're looking to zoom up your hamburger, it's a very nice garnish, as opposed to, in addition, I'll say, excuse me, to just straight lettuce. This area of the grass, I did indeed sit down here for an entire afternoon and weed all the plantain out of it, and it looks, I must say, quite presentable. But this is where I'm going to test the Weed Be Gone. I'm going to spray. It's Weed Be Gone kills broad-leafed plants, yet leaves the grass. So I'm going to spray this track all the way through here and back up to the door, or the gate. And that'll be the test to see how Weed Be Gone works. that looks promising, then we'll go further. Over on the left here, these are this is a cotoneaster bushes. These are cotoneaster bushes surrounding the deck. I have to trim back the grapes that are just in this corner. Below is the hascap. And so what my plan with the cotoneaster is, I'm going to get out my shears and just make this into, or shape the bushes so that it looks like a hedge that it's supposed to be. Now, speaking of weed be gone, this area we're looking at here this is some creeping bellflower that I sprayed with weed be gone. It looks a little bit unhealthy. This area here was full of creeping bellflower, and it appears to happily have died. And then that's where the end of the test took place, so we'll see. This was cutting the grass day, and that's why I've gone around the edges, cut the grass, gone around the edges. This bed opposite, still has much more work to be done, but we're getting a really good start here. Now this bed, which I have yet to mulch, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to mulch this with bark, straw, or compost. But in here we now have the stiff goldenrod, which we'll say is, no, that's false sunflower, FS. What's this one? I think that's dirt. We have false sunflower. If I come this way, purple prairie clover, which is looking quite healthy. And if I come back a little bit here and go this way, this is GH, giant hyssop. I had a challenge when I was planting this. Let's go to this one. Let's go back now. That's false sunflower on the left, giant hyssop on the right. At one point I took the plant tags out of the two plug cases, turned around, did something, came back. Which was which? It took me a while. I had to go into the front yard and find both the giant hyssop and the false sunflower and determine which set of plugs belong to which tags. So a bit of a challenge. So there's 10 purple prairie clovers, 5 false sunflowers, and 5 giant hyssops. The false sunflowers and the giant hyssops are the taller, and the purple prairie clover is shorter at about 1.5 to 2 feet. Let's go back up here. Starting to get some blossoms on the Joe Pye weed. Which is very, very nice to see. Not as high as last year, but then again it's been so dry. Over to the left, in the dahlia and can lily bed. I forget which monarda these are. I do have the name, I'll mention it next time. So the monarda is the red, the Oregon fleabane is the pink, and to the right of the Oregon fleabane, the long leaves are swamp milkweed. and you can just see the ends of the flower buds. Oops, let me go back here. This way I finally start to weed this bed. These are poppies in here, but they need to, this whole bed needs to be organized some more. This mound is an anthill. So one of my challenges is to, how do I effectively remove ants? Let's go down to the candle lilies. As you can see in this bed, at the front, these are dahlias. And it'll be interesting to see, which dahlias we have. And behind we have two sets of candle lilies. And frankly, we have green ones and bronzy ones. I don't know the names. And the person that gave them to me doesn't know the names either. Virginia creeper on the fence. Snow on the mountain, or goutweed, surrounding several hostas, 1, 2, 3, perhaps 4 or 5 hostas now. This does very nice. It's like a cushion, a huge cushion. Against the fence is the espaliered apple tree, though unfortunately still no blossoms. Oh, to the left of that, these are shoots off of the Schubert chokecherry, and those are going to have to be removed. And of course, plunk in the middle of it is some creeping bellflower that, as always, I will continue with that. Let's go back here. Still getting roses, but coming to the end. Coming to the end. This spot, I had another fern growing here, so before I cut the grass, I removed it, and that will be planted at Real House. This side still needs to be weeded at the back, up to here. So we have a ways to go there. The white coneflowers are doing very well this year. This year they are really established. And this is what native plants do, is that eventually when they do finally set their roots, these haven't particularly been watered, and they're really starting to gain momentum now. Now, one area I want to just show you here. Two things back here. First of all, you'll see that I moved the obelisk, the metal obelisk. I shoved the goji berry tree up the center of it. It's looking a little bit ratty, but that's okay. You can see some goji berries on it. There we are. Great antioxidants. The goji berry tree seems to flop around a lot, so I saw the obelisk idea on a garden tour and decided that was an excellent use for this obelisk. And then finally, this area here. This is known as not taking your own advice and not walking around your garden. Is that I was cleaning out these daylilies, or this daylily bed, and discovered a plant tag. And realized I'd forgotten that I planted 3 specimens, wonderful specimens here, and frankly I haven't found all the plant tag, I just found a piece of it. So I'm still looking for the actual name of the daylily that daylilies that I planted here. But these are a daylily of a different color. And it's going to have a few more blossoms to come. Let's zoom in on this one. It's really at the end of its day here. But you'll see that's a different color than the other ones. These are the common ones that I've had for many years now. These are straight orange. Oops. So, this is known as John not taking his own advice here. As by walking around, I remember what I planted in here, and now this is another area to walk around and observe what's going on. This is another area, this bed, or another part of the lawn that is going to get a weed and feed. I'm really not a very big user of chemicals, but I truly think I have to do this. So with that, this is the invasive milkweed, by the way. And I'll back up again. So it spreads by rhizomes. It indeed will come out into this grassy area. That's okay. Just pull it up. If it's 1 inch on the other side, far side of the rocks, keep it. It's wonderful. If it's 1 inch on this side of the rocks, pull it up. And it smells very nice. We have lots of monarchs in here. And when the flowers are eventually fertilized, here's what the seed pods look like. Now, First Nations people, hundreds of years ago, used the insides as soft mixture. It was used in diapers. During the last war, the material is very fluffy and was used in life vests. This figure has always been hidden in here. It's a frog prince. Surveying the territory, his territory. Evening in early August. Felt like rain earlier, but I think not now. And with that, I'll say greetings and salutations, and good evening.